Hello, and welcome to Charles Kelly Money Tips. Sorry, still got a bit of a chesty cold. I don't know whether it's flu or what, but my voice is sounding a bit rough. So I'm going to keep today's broadcast fairly brief. I'm just trying to add some groups here, but thanks for everyone who tunes in on Facebook Live and to my podcast on iTunes and Stitcher, and obviously on my website, which is moneytipsdaily.com. Really great to see, and thanks for the comments from everybody that chips in with a few comments. That's great. So today I want to talk about people and child benefit for people earning more than £50,000 a year. Now, 50,000 might sound a lot of money, and to some it might be. I mean, the average national average income is less than 30. I think it's around £27,000 per annum. So 50,000, it sounds like a lot of money, but a lot of people do earn that sort of money. Hi to everyone coming on, Tracy there. A lot of people can earn that sort of. A lot of nurses earn 50 or 60,000 pounds because they do overtime, they work weekends, they do late night shifts and that sort of thing. So it is possible to earn £50,000. I'm sure you've probably got Uber drivers out there working all the hours who can earn that sort of money. Excuse me a second. Sorry, my throat is really dry from this cold. So I want to talk. I mean, I had a guy approach me recently. He said he just works. I think he's just working in a care home. I'm not even sure if he's a qualified nurse. A guy from the Philippines that I originally helped come over here when he was a student worker. So he said he's been working all the overtime, working all the hours to bump his income up, and his income earned exceeded more than £50,000 for the year. He's got a family, and then suddenly he gets this tax bill, and it's like £6,000, £8,000 tax bill, and he has to pay it immediately, and all this sort of thing. It's a demand because they said he should not have been claiming child benefit. Now, child benefit is a benefit that's paid, for each child that you get, and it's not a benefit in terms of you have to be unemployed. Everybody gets it. So, you just go and apply for it, and when you have a child, you get child benefit. In fact, they were even giving it to Eastern European people who had children in Eastern Europe. I mean, it's ridiculous. Everybody was getting it. But then the government a few years ago introduced a rule saying that it's not fair that, high earners should also get this child benefit when they don't need it. They're just putting it into a savings account to save for private education. So it was felt that it was wrong that people earning a lot of money and high rate taxpayers and people earning 50, 100, 200,000 a year should be getting child benefit. And to a certain extent, I agree with that. Why should you be just giving everybody the same benefit when you've got a lot of people that don't need it? It was originally meant for low income earners. In fact, it was originally replacing an allowance, a tax allowance that you got for having children. So if you had children, you paid less tax. Then they scrapped that and said, well, we're going to give everyone child benefit. Then they said, right, now we're not going to give child benefit for people earning more than a certain figure. And I agree with that to a certain extent, but the way it's been implemented is a bit cockeyed, to be honest, because I think it's so complicated. Now, you need to check this. If you're earning more than 50,000, either one of you need to check this with HMRC, or you can go to some of the money advice websites. I'm looking here at moneyadvice.org.uk. And it says if either you or your partner has an income of more than £50,000 a year before tax, that's gross before tax, then you'll have to pay back some or all of your child benefit in the form of extra income tax. Now, that's fair enough if it's worked out at source, but it doesn't seem to work like that. Because you'd expect that they would work it out on your tax code, but this is not what's happened in the case of my friend here. He's just been hit with a tax bill. Then it says, if you're earning between 50 and 60,000 a year, you'll have to pay back a portion of your child benefit in extra income tax. You'll still get the full amount of child benefit each month or each week. However, whichever one of you has the higher income, will have to repay a portion of the child benefit, right? So hi to Dave there tuning in. Thanks very much. So you'll no longer be entitled to this tax benefit, but you'll need to fill out a self-assessment tax return form with HMRC. So they're putting the onus on you to fill out a self-assessment tax return form. Now, most people on PAYE, that means pay as you earn tax income, don't fill out a self-assessment tax form. Most people who fill out a self-assessment tax form would be self-employed people or people earning a lot of money that that they need to fill in this form. But most people would be happily, they think, well, I paid my tax deducted at source, that's the end of the story, isn't it? I don't have to worry anymore. I get child benefit, the revenue will work it out, the HMRC. But no, they don't. You have to fill in a self-assessment tax form. Now, if you're earning more than £60,000 a year, if either you or your partner earns more than £60,000 a year, and then you will have to repay all of your child benefit as income tax. Now, you notice they say the word repay. So this is all coming from the government, HMRC, the benefits, it's all different departments. But why will they give you the child benefit and then say you're going to have to repay it? It's so complicated, it's nonsense. And this is where this guy's got into trouble. And he's been happily working away, and then, and suddenly he's hit with this tax bill that he has to pay back immediately. Now, for him, it's like a disincentive for him to work hard. He said, I've been working hard, I've been trying to earn more money for my family, and then what happens? I get hit with a big tax bill. It's ridiculous, it's nonsense, really. And I do feel sorry for the guy. And it's almost like he might as well say, well, look, I won't work now, I won't do the extra overtime hours, I'll just sit back and I'll earn $45,000 a year, and then I'll get my child benefit. Anyway, that my warning to you is that if your income is creeping up and you're earning that amount of money, then do look at the HMRC website, or do go to one of the Citizens Advice Bureau or the Money Advice websites, because it is a very complicated situation. Now, there is a number I can give you. Claiming child benefit will help you protect your state benefit. If you're at home looking after a baby or child, not paying national insurance, you'll be able to get tax credits from the state pension. And this is and phone the child benefit office, which is 0300 200 3100. That's 0300 200 3100, and I'll put it on my website, moneytipsdaily.com. And because it's a quite a complicated area, and I think if you're worried about these sorts of things, go and see your Citizens Advice office, or look on the websites for the. I know it's complicated, but sometimes you could be missing out on something, or maybe facing a big tax bill further down the road if you're not filling in your tax assessment form and declaring everything. See, a tax assessment form or self-assessment is a way of saying, like, here's my income, here's what I get out of the system, and then the revenue will work that out. HMRC will work that out and say, right, your tax is correct. But most people on pay as you earn, which means that your employer is deducting your tax at source, don't worry about that sort of thing. Well, I'm earning my money. Why do I have to fill out a self-assessment tax form? And that's normal way of thinking. But it could be that if you're getting child benefit and you're earning more than £50,000 in a year, you could be liable for a clawback somewhere down the line. And don't wait until it's built up to thousands of pounds and then you've spent the money and then you have to find that money, because the HMRC, they don't ask for the money, they demand the money. They send you a demand. You must pay this, otherwise you're paying interest on this money. They're very ruthless and sometimes nasty people in the way they demand things, but they're just following the law, they're just doing their job. So you've got to go along with it. If you can't pay it back all in one go, then you'll have to come to some negotiated settlement with them to pay it back monthly or however you can manage. But it does sound heavy when you see this demand, tax demand. We demand that you fill in this form. We demand that you pay this money back. They've given you the money, now they're demanding it back. It's ridiculous, it's nonsense, I know, but I'm just giving you the message here. Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just giving you the message. So that's my tip for the day. Make sure you look at all of these things and phone that child benefit office if you're in doubt. 0300 200 3100. Okay, thanks very much. This is Charles Kelly bringing you money tips to help you save, earn, invest, accumulate, and hopefully not get money clawed back from you by HMRC. Thanks for listening, and bye for now. Thanks for everyone who tuned in there, by the way. And thanks for everyone, Dave, MD, Sevilla, Tracy, and everyone who's tuned in on Facebook Live. Great to see you. And if you have children, maybe you haven't got children, but maybe you got grandchildren, Dave, maybe. So then this is something to pass on to people to make sure that they don't fall foul of these rules and end up getting clobbered by HMRC with a big hammer over their head saying, pay us that money back. We demand you pay that money back. After that we've given you that money, but we demand you pay it back. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. That's my message for the day. Thanks for listening, and bye for now. Have a great evening.